I think there's been some really surreal moments, both in a positive way and in negative ways. Personally, my focus has been on the positive stuff. I try not to allow myself to get, to a place that's really dark. I continue to try to, fill my days and my time doing things that, keep this conversation moving forward. In a peaceful way. I've learned a lot about myself in the past year because it's the first time in my life where I haven't been, at work and doing for others constantly. I feel like the story stopped being about me 2 days in. And so although, when there have been people who have said, you're so brave for standing up, and my first immediate reaction is, I got fired. I mean, there are people who are, put into positions all the time because they're fired because of who they love. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to go to. And then for these kids to stand up and say, I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I mean, the bravery only was that, that I found a group of people that stood up with me. And so I didn't have to do it alone. Because had I had to do it alone, I don't know that the story would have gone on for long. The students of Shelly's Voice that started has turned into, an advocacy group that has a board and members and adults, and we've done rallies and we've done, pride, and we've done, there have been some things that, they have really taken the lead. And what it's allowed me to do is to, instead of the focus being on that I'm a counselor that got fired, it allowed me to fight for something that was way, way bigger than just that. We support each other. We saved each other. We continue to move with each other. And so it's different, it's different that I'm not a role model to them, rather I'm just a friend to them, an ally to them, someone that they can come to, and they're the same thing for me. The piece of it that hurts me the most is the impact that it has had on other people. Like, I hate the division that it has caused, especially in our community, and in the Catholic Church. The division is makes me sick. But even more than that is that, students have, felt like they didn't have a voice, and teachers felt like they couldn't stand up for us because they risked losing their jobs. And tons of teachers were brave and did leave because that's not an atmosphere that they wanted to be in. I'm not trying to wreck Roncalli or anybody in it. I think that people think I'm trying to bring them down. I'm not. I really am not. I still have, nieces and nephews that go to school there, and I want to make it better for my friends' kids, for people who always thought about bringing their kids up through the Roncalli school system. I'm not trying to change, the Bible. I'm not trying to change, what Scripture says. What I'm trying to have a conversation is that everyone should have a place at the table. My faith is stronger than it's ever been. And I don't, and I know that I'm lucky because I know that doesn't happen all of the time for people. My wife, my daughter, they didn't ask for this. My parents and my siblings, and they're proud of me, and we love each other, and it's brought us closer. But there's been a lot of pain that's been caused because of this that people don't get to see. Until this, we had never experienced an ounce of discrimination in any kind of way, ever. We lived as a family and were who we were publicly. We weren't embarrassed by it. We didn't hide it. We weren't shamed by it or anything like that. And so we felt protected immediately. Vic was supportive. You do whatever you have to do. I'll be behind you the entire way. Sometimes she teases and she says, this is about you, this isn't about me. And I'm like, well, being married to you is actually what got me fired, so it is about you. They still don't call it a marriage. They still call it a civil union. And so the very first option verbatim was, you can dissolve your civil union. I had no idea that was going to be not only an option, but the first option. And so I was kind of caught, off guard by that. Like, everything they said after that was just like, no way am I are you going to get away with this? I have become an activist for, LGBTQ rights, especially for, against discrimination in the workplace. And I'm proud of that. I will continue to work with youth. I know that. I will continue in whatever capacity it is to be an advocate, to continue to help kids be better. People want people to be treated kindly, and they want people to be treated equally. And I think that when they're not, people are starting to stand up for that. Stand up against, when people are discriminated against.